I only learned how to ride a bike about a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
So just like a personal challenge to yourself?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Felt like I kind of needed to. Never had a need to before, so.
It's one of those things, like, as a kid, you're always told it's a really handy thing to have.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I had okay, fun fact, I only started playing ukulele because I had really bad tendon damage in my hands.
Okay.
So, I couldn't grab hold of handlebars.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't ever learn, and just never needed to since. But now I'm just like, I can go everywhere so fast.
There's so much speed.
There is a need.
I had a geography teacher who broke his hand, and he started knitting to repair his hand.
Yeah, similar thing with me and guitar and ukulele and stuff.
Cool. Are you ready to rock?
Yeah, I'm good at just chatting shit and then whittle it down.
Nice. But yeah, Lauren Pincher, welcome to Yelling at Concrete podcast.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. It's good.
Good.
I'm going to start with a simple first question. Of how long have we known each other? Cause
not very
my
long
first
at
question.
all.
No, we've kind of run into each other at Witter.
Yes.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
As you were packing up, I think it was.
Yeah, that's what. I saw you in passing, at the event.
Yeah.
And then
I was around.
You were around.
And then I was around longer.
Yeah. I ended up helping pack down and stuff. The ladies did such a good job, and I was just like, I want to help you because you're quite visibly stressed and exhausted. So, just yeah. But
How did you get involved in it?
Well, I'm very good friends with Sarah and also Gemma. So when I first came to Lincoln about 4 years ago, Gemma saw me playing a gig and was like, "Hey, come play at this thing for me," and so I did. And I know Sarah through music stuff as well. We both played a charity gig together at the Scene. I believe it was for Oxfam. Oxjam, sorry.
I've heard of Oxjam.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's one of those things which pops up in Lincoln every so often, and I always think I'll go to it, and then I never get around to going to it.
I think that is the general consensus. The lady who, I don't know if she runs it still anymore. Her name's Anne. She's so lovely. But I think, she tries really, really hard to get it up and running, but I think advertisement when it comes to live gigs and stuff in Lincoln is, it leaves somewhat to be desired.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lack of communication, I think. It's like we were saying, there is a live scene. It's just hidden away, and if you're luckily in the loop, then you know where it is and you know what's happening where. But it's people who are outside the loop or have just come to the city, I suppose. It's letting them know without being like, hey, come to this gig, it's really going to be great. And not in wanting to sound like a psychopath as you do so.
I mean, it does help.
Yes.
In terms of getting people to events, if you don't sound like a psychopath.
Yes.
Would you describe yourself as a musician outright, like your top thing is a musician? Because I know you do other things. I
don't know. I mean, for me, music is definitely just a creative hobby that I've pursued, further.
Yeah.
I would just simply describe myself, I think it's actually on my Facebook little bio thing, it's just artsy as heck. I like painting and music and anything that's got a vague amount of creativity to it. It's my jam, or I'll at least try and have a go. But yeah, for me, music was I used to be a really shy kid, and then I got into panto, and it turned out that I could sing, not terribly. And then I learnt music, the guitar and stringed instruments to accompany my voice primarily, but also to, get over the nerve damage in my hands, because that was less than ideal. And worked out for the best, as it turned out. I'd say I'm primarily a vocalist, if you want to narrow it down, or a lyricist. Those two kind of go hand in hand a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And,
But no, I mean, I saw you perform at Witter, which I thought was very good.
Thank you. I tried and everything.
I think I saw some of your paintings.
They were at the front of the stage. They were the big colourful ones.
Yeah, those ones. The one which got knocked over.
Yes, I am so glad that did not get broken. I mean, it was a really cheap frame, so it wouldn't have mattered. But
still,
it would have been annoying.
One of those moments where you're like, oh dear.
And I mean, at least it would if for Sarah to knock over any painting, I'm glad it was one of mine. She's like my Lincoln mom.
I mean, that's what you need.
Yeah, I mean, I started off as a student here,
Yeah.
and she sort of like showed me around more, and she's just like, well, she's almost more like a cool older sister than I'm. She's not nearly old enough to be a mother,
No.
Or at least mine.
So what did you do at uni?
Well, I still study it part-time,
Okay.
but architecture.
Nice.
Just because.
Just because?
Yeah.
Because you could. At the
Because
time.
I could,
Yeah.
because you know it's vaguely useful.
Yeah.
You know, maths and art and engineering and
I've
drawing.
yet to meet an architecture student who actually uses their architecture degree.
Yeah, it's
everyone I've met has done architecture and then moved on to something else.
literally anything else. No, it's like because you know I am genuinely interested in the subject, but you
Yeah.
know when you study it for ages, especially if you're not studying it full time, like you know my peers.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it because I mean it's great and.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound really doom and gloom about it, but it's so stressful.
I think this podcast is the worst advert for Lincoln Uni ever.
Yeah?
Because,
Oh, great.
Well, everyone I have come onto is like either studying or has studied at Lincoln Uni and don't use their degrees.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm probably the worst advert for a student because, you know, I just get so distracted by literally everything else. And it is creative stuff.
That's essentially what students do, right?
Yeah.
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 That's your role as a student, is to get distracted by
I
stuff.
mean, I have used my music to procrastinate my entire time here.
Yeah.
And instead, that's flourished instead of, you know, knowledge on
buildings.
and
stuff like that.
different types of bricklaying.
Yeah. I think architecture's it's one of those ones which is kind of hard to use after you have it. Like,
Unless
because
you
you can
want
do
to be an
photography, you can go still photograph things. But unless someone's asking you to design a building or draw something or go, oh, how would you put this together? It's not going to come into play in your day to day.
Well,
Unless you've got loads of breadsticks, and then you're just going to
breadsticks.
just build things out of
The
breadsticks.
usual thing is matchsticks.
I'm more food related, I can't help it.
Fair. Bread is good.
You could go bigger with breadsticks.
You could. It wouldn't be... Like, the structural integrity would be awful
Yeah.
with breadsticks.
You'd probably have to use hummus to seal them together.
Would you like to know a horrendous thing?
Go for it.
I am the
I love
only
it,
person
hummus.
I know that doesn't like hummus.
You don't like hummus?
No.
I've only liked hummus for the last 3 years. I didn't used to like hummus.
I feel like this
It's
is
become a
like an
transition.
AA meeting for hummus.
So why don't you like hummus then?
It's just in the texture of it,
Yeah.
and I just think, you know, there's other condiments out there for me. You
See,
know?
I hate guacamole,
Yeah,
and people love guacamole.
I like it on things, but I wouldn't go, you know what, I
don't-
really, really want some guacamole.
I just don't like avocado.
Mm.
I don't understand people's love of avocado.
You're not a proper millennial if you don't like avocados.
Don't like avocados and you know, complain about life.
Yeah, that's pretty much
that's
it.
pretty much being
Got
the
nailed.
millennial. Yeah.
Complaining.
Well, I mean, I have a podcast called Yelling at Concrete. I think that's
I mean-
basically just complaining, right?
I mean, you're making something of it as opposed to just at.
I could just be posting on social media.
You could. I deleted Facebook off my phone, and it's been wonderful.
I did that. I got it back though,
No, I
but
didn't
on
do
my
that.
old phone I got rid of it because it kept popping notifications and it was driving me nuts. So I just got rid of it and used the browser to access it if I wanted it.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
what I do, and I use that for. So we have at work a Facebook page, and if anyone doesn't want to shift or they want to swap shifts or anything,
Yeah.
it just gets posted up on there, or like updates from our boss about what events are going on. That's it.
Yeah.
And it, you know, you just cut out so much like needless white noise,
Yeah.
really. And, you know, I didn't want to all out delete it because, you know, it's good for keeping photos on and things, but
Yeah.
you know, and also like my whole music stuff gets plugged on Facebook quite a lot.
I think that's literally the only reason I have Facebook now is events and my own publishing my own work.
Yeah.
If it wasn't there, I wouldn't have Facebook. I just
No, it's
run
not.
into
I mean, if it's not useful
Yeah.
to me, then
I did think the other day that Facebook may go the way of MySpace.
yes, I think it's slowly going that way now.
I mean, I
already.
know the privacy thing was a big thing in the last week or so.
Mm.
I say the last week or so, this probably won't go out for a month, but so it's old news. But yeah, I don't know, I can see it gradually declining.
I think Instagram is taking off instead.
Yeah.
Mm.
Instagram's good.
I am.
I'm a little bit addicted to Instagram.
I'm a little bit of an Instagram
I can't help
person. I've got 3 different accounts.
3, yeah.
For different things.
I've got 3.
Nice.
That's not a good thing.
I mean, I don't know. I've got my personal one, I've got my music one, and I've got my art one. Well, the music one's terrible. I forget to update it, and I'm always posting on my personal one about it instead.
Yeah.
But
I have.
It's all out there.
Yeah.
It's all advertisement of sorts.
Any advertising's good advertising, apparently.
Depends.
I mean, okay, so with your music and things, do you think you'd rather get recognised for doing something you've done, like, arty-wise, and getting, like, minor recognition, or having something go wrong, and then going viral and being noticed for your music hugely?
I don't know.
Because I feel like those are the only 2 ways to succeed nowadays.
Yeah, you have to either be a meme or kind of okay at something.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to be, like, forever associated with something awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't mind making a bit of a dick of myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that quite willingly a lot. My friends don't like walking down the street with me because I will skip. You know, stuff like that.
Skipping's apparently, I imagine it's quicker, right?
It actually is.
And less wear and tear on the leg.
I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't skipped in years.
Just, you know, if there's a busker, like, you know, just like dancing.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. I used to care a lot about, you know, how people perceive me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not that I don't care at all, but it's just like, man, I'm having fun. I'll do me. It's fine.
That's important.
It's been way more enjoyable since.
I think life is more enjoyable if you just do what you want to do.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, again, like, not worrying about Facebook or putting things up on there. You just cut out a load of stuff.
Yeah.
Thoughts, things from me.
Yeah. I think you're one of the few guests I've had who does do multiple things regularly. Because I have a lot of people who are very specific genre-wise.
Yeah, I wish I could just narrow it down and calm it down a bit.
Do you?
But yeah.
See, I do
Focus
lots of
on
things,
one thing,
but I wouldn't want to. I've never wanted to look at one. I know it'd be easier in a way.
Yeah, I would like to, you know, excel at one thing.
Okay.
As opposed to being okay at many things.
Right.
But the thing is, being okay at many things, you have lots of eggs in lots of different baskets.
Yeah.
If I get bored of one, I can jump to the other. If I'm having a creative block musically, I can just do a painting or things like that. And it's nice in that regard, but I'm not going to make a career out of any of them. I don't believe for a second.
No?
No. I don't think I have enough dedication for one thing.
I feel like I'm deluding myself now because I just do lots of things. Yeah, I believe that there could be a career in one of them.
Well, I mean...
But I wouldn't choose which one it was. It was just whichever one goes.
Whichever one just takes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, it's how much you put into it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just curious about everything.
Yeah.
And I want to know everything. I want to see everything. And I want to do everything. And I can't keep my hands still. Like, you know, sitting at this table now, I'm just like this. And I'm, like, fiddling with my hands. And like, you know, if I'm watching TV, I'm knitting.
Yeah.
Or sewing or something like that. And, you know,
Yeah.
I just like making things.
Yeah.
Music or paintings or, you know, physically making textile things.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, it's fun.
Me too. That's what I do. I call it compulsively creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that term.
You just gotta do something. You don't know what you've got to do.
Yeah.
But you gotta do something.
Otherwise I feel like it's just wasted time.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's okay to, like, take some time out to just chill, but my chill time is literally just being asleep.
Yeah. I do think at times, like, I love sleep, but at the same time, at times I'm like, sleep is just wasting my time at times. When I could be doing something.
Like, if I'm just like, right, I'm going to have a day of just chilling.
Yeah.
I'll, you know, put some telly on, and then I'll be asleep for about 5 hours, and then I'll wake up briefly, and then I'll immediately go back to sleep until I realise that I've been in bed for about 16 hours. And that's me, recharge my batteries, and then I'm off again for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I can sleep for about 5 hours a night, and I'm just like, fine. I mean, caffeine helps, obviously.
Obviously.
But, yeah, just every now and then just need a little pause just to be, you know, literally brain dead.
Yeah.
And then off I go again.
See, I don't take a little pause. I kind of push myself to the point where I have to pause. Like, it's not my choice. My body does it for me.
I know when I need to pause when I start getting, like, not twitchy, but Yeah, no, I'll start just being a bit delirious, really. Yeah. I think, my flatmate came in. Well, she lives in the flat opposite. She's not strictly my flatmate, but she came in and she gave me some flowers because she was going home for a week, and she had some fresh flowers, and she just put them in my flat and left a little note, and I just cried, and I was like, oh, maybe Lauren, you're a bit tired.
Maybe you've done too much this time.
Maybe when my eyes start leaking, that's when you need sleep is necessary.
I think sleep's necessary.
I mean, it is necessary in general, but like more necessary than usual.
Mine usually manifests itself as I'll be doing all the things, and then one day I'll sleep longer than I intended to, and then I'll wake up and think, oh, maybe I needed that. Maybe tomorrow I'll add on to that sleep. But up to that point, I'll just keep going.
Have you ever woken up and it's dark and you don't know if it's really early in the morning or really late at night?
I do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
On nights.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
I mean, the time shift has helped, which we went through recently. But yeah, occasionally you kind of go to bed at 6 a.m. when it's dark, and then wake up around 5 a.m. just because you've overslept and it's dark. Or 5 p.m. even. You just wake up and you're like, I don't know where the day went. But yeah.
I'll sleep for about 5 hours or 15 with no in between, which proves difficult when it comes to making plans of any kind, I suppose. Yeah. So that's what last night I was like, right, you need to actually make sure that you're awake by 10. Because if you're awake by 10, then you'll stay awake until 2, and then you'll be able to be on Graham's podcast.
That's true. I like that was formulated into the sleep plan.
Yeah, pretty much. I have to think about these things in advance, otherwise it just doesn't happen.
True. I mean, I just wake up mid-afternoon and then go, cool, I'll go sit at a table.
And you're like, this is correct.
Yeah. I say correct, but this is acceptable of being awake and doing things.
I live on my own now. Just Jenny, who I used to live with, and now she lives on her own in the flat opposite. Okay. It's a really great setup because we can spend as much time with each other as we want to, and then when I'm sick of her, I just shut my door. She can't get in. It's great. But I have like a studio bedsit type flat. So my living room, I've got my bed in my living room, and then there's a little kitchenette and a bathroom separate. But my TV's on a bracket, so I just pull it out, and then so I can just watch it in bed. Yeah. And there I will stay in a little nest for forever.
See, I'm gradually migrating out of my bedroom. So for the longest time, my setup in my bedroom was got my desk, computer bits, bed, books, everything I could possibly need apart from food. And I did debate bringing a kettle in at one point. Just having it all in one space. And then over the past 2 months or so, I've gradually been taking things out of my bedroom and putting them in other rooms in my house, so I don't spend all of my time in my bedroom. Because I don't know, I just feel like I've done more if I'm not in my bedroom. Yeah.
So it's an achievement.
Yeah, so I'm just gradually migrating things to another room, so even if I'm sat doing nothing in another room, I'm in another room. Yeah. I made it to another room.
And also productivity-wise, I can't remember where I heard it or who told me, but most important thing to do, very beginning of the day, I find, is to make my bed. Because once I've done that, then I've already ticked off the first thing off my list. Okay. And then once you've done one thing, it's so much easier to then carry on doing the rest of the things. So I struggle quite a lot with motivation, and actually getting up and doing things. When I'm actually out of bed, it's fine and just off I go. But it's that initial little bit is extremely difficult. So yeah, get up, make my bed, make a coffee, and then it's like a little mini routine, and then that sets me up, and that's good.
Okay, I think that's a good start to a day. Yeah. Just to do little things. Yeah.
They all add up, and then and you come home after a long day, and your bed's made. Oh, it's nice, especially when it's in the middle of my living room. It's maybe even more important.
I think imagining having that messy in the middle of the living room.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm only a small person, so I need a small space, but it works for me.
All I can imagine now is just a shoebox in your living room, which you just kind of moving into.
Not quite a shoebox. It's I'm trying to think in regards to this room. So it's probably the size of the living room bit, and if you just make it a little bit wider that way, then that's where the bed would be, and then a wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. It's my little oasis in the middle of the city.
Okay.
I can shut the door and everything's so quiet, and it's great. It's nice. For me, having my own space is quite important.
Yeah, mine too. It's been a big thing of I need my space, because I think that's the thing. Like I live here alone, so I've got all of this, and I've thought a couple of times like I could move into a house share, because obviously it'd make it cheaper and bits and bobs like that. But I just don't think I could do it anymore.
I lived in house shares for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
It just kept going wrong. It's right.
Okay.
It's gonna sound like I'm the problem here because
you moved out
because
each time.
because I was the one that had to move out each time. But I was just very, very good at picking the wrong people to live with, to the point of literally crazy people.
Okay.
And that's not me exaggerating, because a girl that I lived with in second year has now been sectioned.
I mean, that is literally.
That's literally crazy. So, it was just stuff like that. Just third year was good.
Okay.
Third year was good, but then so it was Jenny and I who I mentioned before, and 2 guys who are wonderful, messy but wonderful. Miss them dearly. If you ever listen, Alex, we still love you. Please come back.
He's just lost to the world. Even though you've
gone back to Essex, so we just can't cope without him.
Essex doesn't exist. So.
No. But yeah, and then so obviously like new people move in, and it's things changed, and it got to the point where I was just like, well, for my own well-being, really,
And not picking random crazy people.
And not picking random crazy people. I mean, I thought the best way to not live with random crazy people would be to live on my own with just, a very familiar one crazy person.
It's better the devil you know.
Yes.
Know your enemy and all that.
So it is me.
I think it helps to be a little bit crazy. Especially on your own.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I can't see this is the thing I can't understand of people who live alone who aren't necessarily creative or get involved in things which may be a little bit crazy. I don't know what they do with their time.
I don't know what people do with their time in general.
I know TV comes into it a lot, and people fill space with TV.
But I get so bored.
Yeah.
I can watch TV with someone else there.
Yeah.
And have a laugh and talk about what's on the big blinky screen. But I just like, it doesn't interest me.
No.
And if something doesn't interest me, I drop it very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just abandon it.
Yeah. Straight up. I'm very blunt like that. If I meet a boring person, I like, especially if there's a little bit of alcohol in me.
Yeah.
Nights out are fun.
Okay.
There's it's been many evenings and troubles.
Do you do the thing where you just walk off?
No.
Because I do that. Even if I'm interested in the person I'm talking
to.
A
bit worse than that.
Oh. Slap them.
No, I don't slap them. There's no need to slap them. I will go, okay, you're really boring, so I'm going to get a drink. I'm going. One day I'm going to get punched straight in the face.
I mean, that's kind of brutal, but I love it at the same time.
I mean, I'm 5'2".
Yeah.
5'4" if I wear my tall shoes. So I'm not really very menacing or anything on a night out. So I look
just
very
find it endearing.
Yeah, I mean, I people say, oh, she's so small and endearing, and when really I'm just very, very mean. It's just not deliberately so. Just being blunt is just way easier and more fun in general conversation, really. So
yeah. I mean, I find on nights out, I do a thing which I got told fairly recently. It's called like an Irish goodbye. I don't know why it's called an Irish goodbye. Where you're just in the middle of a conversation with someone, and you'll get distracted, so you just walk off. And I do that all the time on nights out. And we'll be chatting, we'll be doing something. Someone will just be talking, and then I'll just go. And I'll just go. I'll leave. I'll come back. But I'll have to go solve my distraction of whatever I wanted at that one time.
I'm very good at saying, I'll be right back, and then...
And never return.
Well, no, I do return, but maybe like an hour later.
Yeah. It's that habit of just wandering.
Yeah.
I love a good wander.
Yeah, and like especially like being involved in the music stuff here, like
Yeah.
you know everyone, or you recognise people who've been to your gigs, or people who are like involved with other bands and stuff, and like I can't walk down the high street without bumping into someone and then stopping and talking to them. Like, it's if I'm in a rush, a rush. That was hurry and rush. A hush. That was mashed together.
That sounds like a nice word.
It's a new one.
We're formulating new words now.
Shakespeare.
We may have to put it in the title.
Why can't I?
The Rahush and Lauren.
The Rahush. No. That didn't need a theme tune.
You're blatantly did. I can already picture the sitcom, which is just occurring around that theme tune.
I can't go down the high street without bumping into someone. And if I am in a rush, then I have to say, just, I'm sorry, no. Yeah. Carry on walking. Just, no.
Sorry, my brain just ultimately jumped that Rahush could be a really quiet Rush cover band. Just like a cover band, but they don't sing very loud. They just
whisper.
Rush.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like cover bands. My friend used to be in a cover band for AC/DC. Let There Be DC. He really did.
That's a bold cover band. AC/DC is hard to cover, I imagine.
Yeah, he was lead guitarist and he had the shorts and everything.
Nice. Okay, I haven't got the legs for those shorts.
Neither did he.
Just throwing friends under the bus.
Yeah, it's fine. They're used to it. It's fine.
Yeah. Fair enough. So your music, how long have you been playing?
A long time. Or at least to me it seems a long time.
Yeah.
So I first picked up a ukulele when I was 13. My brother had a guitar beforehand and then I stole it. I was better at it. Sorry, Ben, but I was, and so it slowly went from the living room to my bedroom, and I was dabbled around. I've always liked singing. I got involved with panto and drama classes when I was younger because I was a very, very, very quiet kid, and my parents were like, "We need something, just make her actually talk words in public places." And that really helped, and then that's how I got singing, and they were like, actually you're not terrible at singing. And then my grandmother paid for me to have singing lessons at the Jennifer Grace Vocal Academy, and I went there for 3 years every Saturday. And so I got all the techniques right in that, and that was it. From there on I started, I was thinking, okay, I've done some live stuff now with the academy. Now I'm going to do it on my own. And so I did that.
That's good. No. I know the ukulele for a while became like a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah, it was when No and Whale 5 Years Time first came out.
Right.
I think I started learning about a year before then.
Yeah.
And then that song came out.
It.
Oh no, because I'm very unapologetic about how much I do adore ukuleles. It's not really an instrument people take seriously.
No.
Because there are the general question is, so what colour's your ukulele, as opposed to what type of ukulele have you got?
Yeah.
Mine is beautiful and made of koa wood, and I'm very pretentious about it. Proper ukulele.
I think that
snob.
helps though.
Yeah.
That you know about your ukulele rather than it just being I own a ukulele.
Yeah, no, I actually can play it, which helps.
Do you find it easier than guitar?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm a tiny person, so I've got
a tiny guitar.
Yeah, except don't ever call it a tiny guitar because it's not. It's just not. It's
just offending you,
It's different tunings. It's different string material.
Is it a better guitar?
Define better.
Because do you prefer it?
I mean, I prefer it because you can.
It's a better guitar for you.
Yeah, for me it is.
Yeah.
It would. So a soprano ukulele would fit in my school locker.
Okay.
So it was super practical, super portable. I've got tiny hands, so I didn't struggle. Like with a guitar, I always did struggle. I can't bar chords still. I'm terrible at it. But yeah, it would just fit in my hands nicer, and it's more fun. You can make any lyrics sound happy if you want to. So if you when I'm writing lyrics, it's usually like about the deep stuff. Like I'm talking like angsty post-teen drivel. But you set it to a ukulele, and then people don't quite realise how sad you are. I don't know.
I did just think that. If you set a ukulele, it doesn't come across as slightly
quite
realistic and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, and you have 4 fingers and there's 4 strings.
Yeah.
It's one of the easiest instruments to learn. They actually teach it in primary schools now.
Yeah.
Which I am all for.
Does that mean it's the new recorder?
I wish you didn't say that.
But I mean, that's
good.
Probably
very true.
But I mean, it's good because the recorder played badly is much worse, I imagine, than the ukulele played badly, and that's for parents. That's a good thing, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think they sound nicer, but they can be equally as annoying if not played properly. So yeah, no, my ukulele. It's got Aquila strings. It's got set to a low G as opposed to a mid.
Does it have a name?
It everything I own has a name. So the ukulele that you saw me perform with, because I have several. His name is Irian. Because it's a nice name, and it's, I think, because I look up meanings of names, and I do believe it means friend.
Okay.
Or something along those. Oh no, your beautiful voice. Or something along those lines. I can't quite remember now. I've had it ages. But yeah, I name inanimate objects a lot. I think because if something is that personal, then it needs to be personable.
Yeah. In
my opinion.
I think it helps if something goes wrong with it as well.
Yeah.
That you can give it a character, because then it's not just a broken object. It's just a grumpy object or an angry object.
Irian, why like this?
Why are you doing this to me? Why do you hate me?
Like this? So Irian is a tenor ukulele, which is just slightly larger than your normal one. It sounds deeper because size. It just makes sense. And I string it with a lower G because a lot of the time like ukuleles don't have that. They don't have that low tone. They're annoying, and it can be annoying because of the plinky plonky high tones and pitches. But when you've got like a lower tone to it, it's just nicer.
Yeah.
And like I do sing a lot of soft stuff, so to have that, it fits better. To the point where I go back to a normal ukulele and I'm just like, this sounds wrong. Yeah.
I'd be curious what a ukulele would sound like with distortion.
It sounds hilarious. My old housemate had a multitude of FX pedals.
Yeah. And just
great.
Yeah.
Would piss off everyone in the entire house, and probably
that's
neighbours.
The only reason anyone has effects pedals.
Yeah.
Nobody gets one for serious reasons.
No.
You get it
to
play with it. It's like as soon as you get a whammy bar of any kind, it's like
everything
is going around. Look, I can play Seven Nation Army. So I've had various musicians on before on here, and I always find it interesting of how you come up with your songs. Like, what's your process?
Well, very, very cliche actually. So I'm not very good at talking about my feelings, but I'm very good at singing about them. Because words elude me a lot. Yeah. But if I have the time to write it down, actually, sometimes I don't even write it down. It just comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So a self promo.
Do it. Promote everything.
A song that is free to download on SoundCloud under my musical name of Limpet. It's just called Interlude.
Okay.
It's a song that my friend and I made up on the spot. So he came up with a riff, and it's him playing Spanish guitar, and I just sang over it. I just sang what I felt in my heart, and we played it, and it was great. And then we played it live on stage.
Mm-hmm. Came
out differently entirely, but it was live recorded, and it sounded good.
Yeah.
People liked it. It's a bit London Grammar-esque.
Okay.
But that's what I like doing. I like just singing along to stuff, even though it's not right. It's just whatever feelings, and for me it's a very good form of self-expression and just letting out emotion, not necessarily verbally, like just in sounds, which in itself sounds kind of strange, but if you listen to the track it makes more sense. It's just me singing the phrase "I'm all right," okay. "I'm always all right," kind of over and over and over again with a few other words and lines thrown in there. And yeah, I mean, if someone's next to me just like playing some random riff on a guitar, even if it's like a song I know, I'll sing over it. Just and it's nice and it's soothing.
It's kind of organic, his way of doing it.
Yeah, organic. Yeah, organic's the word I was trying to think of actually.
Because I know a lot of people really struggle with either one part or the other. So they'll either come up with lyrics and then they can never think what goes with it, or they come up with the music and like, I don't know what to put.
I kind of think of lines with slight melodies and I'll build around it. So reason I know Gemma, because I did some spoken word. Because if I can't think of a melody for any kind of music to go with my lyrics, I will read them out loud as poems, basically. Okay. And then if it's something like that I've got really good words and really they're expressionate and I like them anyway, I'll take them to a musician of sorts, someone better than me, and just be like, hey, fix it, make it sound pretty, or I'll hear someone's riff and I'll sing something over it, or it'll remind me of a feeling or a memory, and then I'll pack it around that. So a good example of this is a song that I wrote for my dad for his 50th birthday. He told me he didn't want anything, so I was like, well, I'm going to write you a song because I'm lame.
Lame.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's putting time and effort into making something for something that's not really lame.
I use the word lame a little bit too much. I wrote it about, how my dad's always there for me, like, through everything. Like, I wasn't the easiest kid, and I, definitely had some times where I struggled a lot on a personal level with mental health, big issue in my life at one point in time, and I can call my dad up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He'll pick up the phone, and we'll just chat, and then it'll be okay. So the song was about that. And I really love playing with vocal crescendo in my music. So I'm quite mousy as a person, and then I get really into it. I build up the vocal up and up and up and up and up, and then next thing you know, I'm belting my lungs out. And then I bring it back down again, real small, and that's how I get the emotive side out of it a lot more. Or another song that I play quite a lot live is a song called Alaska. Now Alaska is about the Northern Lights. Okay. I've always wanted to see them. I never have.
I was going to say, have you seen them online?
Never, ever, and I would really love to. Yeah. But in this song, I personified the Northern Lights as a person that I was in love with. Okay. And I had a lot of fun with it. And just throwing in a load of metaphors, I suppose. And it was kind of based on feelings of past relationships I had. So I nice feelings, and so I knew roughly what to write. But the lyrics are, "Oh Alaska, when do you glow? If there's one thing I should know, when does your sky light up my eyes? When do you make me whole, make me fine?" And that's another one that actually started off as a poem. But then I ended up just writing it in C because it's happy and peppy. It's about just looking up and just being so very in love with something and not understanding why. Yeah. And yearning for it, but the sky can't love you back because it's the sky.
I think it'd be a little worrying if it did love you. Just one day a face just appears in the sky.
That brings up a lot of that's a theological conversation right there. That's for another day.
No, I think that's really nice. It's a nice way of kind of free-forming things into...
Yeah, it just happens. Or, there's the classic, teenage angst.
Teenage angst is great.
Oh, yes, it does.
It pushes so many things.
That's where, like, my broodier songs come from. But then I'll still play them on the ukulele and they don't sound nearly as deep and dark as,
Just get a grand piano and just...
Every
so often, just...
I wish I could play piano, but I can't.
Is that like top of your list of what you wish you could play?
Yes.
Yeah?
I wish my parents had forced me to from the age of 4.
Lessons.
Yeah.
And yet everyone who has piano lessons as kids probably hates piano.
Yeah, I know. And so if I meet anyone who can play piano, I'm just like, hey, do you want to feature on my track sometime? I get really excited because I'm like, please, please, please. Because, Birdie, beautiful vocalist, we're actually the same age. And she's got a really soft, almost whisper of a voice, and then but obviously with a lot of oomph behind it.
Yeah.
And she plays piano with a load of her music, and it's just beautiful. I want to be that musically beautiful. There's a lot of jealousy right there, but I can't hate her because she's so good.
I think that's a natural thing in art in general.
Like,
is you look at someone and you go, I need to be you.
Yes.
And then other people come along and they think you are that level and you're like, no, they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, oh, I really enjoyed your set, and I'm like, I was just having fun. And the fact that you enjoyed it is just like an added bonus.
It's just the icing on the top of
and paid gigs, I'm like, this is a hobby that I've just taken way too far. It's great. I have so much fun with it.
I kind of like the idea that you could make it quite well, and you're just like, no, it's just a hobby which got out of hand.
Honestly.
Just ran away from me.
Honestly, that's what happened. Like, I was, writing songs and stuff in my bedroom and just dabbling, and then, people overheard me, and I ended up playing a friend's birthday, and then I ended up playing a barbecue, then I ended up playing a pub, and another pub, and then a cafe, until eventually I played on the Engine Shed stage, and I was like, what am I doing here? It was great. It was literally me, Engine Shed stage, huge, and it's just me, sat on a stool, playing to an audience of a couple of hundred, and I was like...
What event was this then?
It was a showcasey type thing, to do with the uni.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I played at the Platform too. That's a really nice venue.
Yeah.
And it also helps because a very good friend of mine, Callum Smith, is he's now like the assistant manager of the tech side of things at the Engine Shed and the Swan and everything. And knowing that you've got like a good sound engineer behind you makes you feel so much more comfortable. Yeah. He used to make freelance and come to my gigs and do it for me, and it made me feel so much less nervous. Like I don't. People always ask me if I get nervous, but now I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well.
You've done it a few times.
Yeah, I mean it's not out of cockiness. It's just kind of like, oh, I've done this before, and realistically, what can go wrong?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking with this mentioning venues. I know on previous podcasts we have mentioned that we don't think there's a decent live venue which is for like small bands in Lincoln.
I've had with Callum. I had this conversation very recently.
Yeah.
There's the argument
where you think is good in Lincoln.
I mean, well, the thing is, there is no middle ground.
No.
There is pubs and there is bigger pubs.
Yeah.
And then there's the Platform. The Platform's the next step up from that, and it's £600 higher out. Thing is, so I was having the debate about payment.
Mm-hmm.
I personally only do gigs for free now if it's for a charity event.
Yeah.
Because if it's not paid, it's still my time, it's still my skill, and it's still a lot of effort that I've put in for this. I mean, it's not just the performance, it's the whole getting there, it's the wear and tear on my instruments and my equipment, and also like the rehearsing and prepping for that particular gig.
Yeah.
And not to mention all the time I spent practicing my own songs, and writing them.
Yeah.
And I got really annoyed, potentially unjustifiably, but I was offered £15 for expenses for a 45-minute gig slot.
Right.
Now, I understand the argument that when it comes to like an hourly wage, that's excellent.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to a creative skill, you can't base things on a minimum hourly wage.
Yeah.
Because, because of all the things I just mentioned. And unfortunately, a lot of the time there's no budget for it. There's no budget to pay the musicians for their art, for their skill, which is sad. So on principle, I don't accept low-paid gigs.
Yeah.
Because, if you start doing those kind of things, word gets out that you do, cheap gigs for favours for people, and then A, you end up doing a load of favours for people, and then B, you're not taken seriously as a musician.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say that I am the most serious musician. I mean, I'm running around with the ukulele, for Christ's sake. But at the same time, I don't want to be taken advantage of.
No.
And that has happened before, and then I put my foot down. Because if I'm not going to take myself seriously, why should I expect anyone else to? Like, point blank. Like, they're not going to. So, I mean, if I do want this to be more than just a really fun, lucrative hobby, then I can't let that happen. And it's also about, protecting myself from gigs such as in nightclubs, acoustic lounges at very late at night. It is just me on my own.
Yep.
With my equipment. If something happened, I wouldn't be able to do anything. And I played one gig before, and a drunk person got up on stage, and they just really messed with the PA equipment. And I'm not at least I vaguely know I'm doing now, ish. But back then, people had to set it up for me, and then the PA guy was nowhere to be seen, and I couldn't do the rest of my music slot that I was paid to do, and I didn't get home until like 3 a.m. I don't have a car. For me, it's walking around that time of night with expensive equipment, just me. I mean, if it was just me, that's scary enough. Yeah. We do live in a city, and unfortunately things do happen. Unfortunately things have happened to me, and I will do anything to stop that happening again.
Yeah.
And I have to consider all these different things that people don't necessarily think about. And I can't grab a taxi all the time. I mean, it still costs money. So I have to think about that kind of thing too.
I think that's reasonable. I think it is something which kind of goes amiss, especially in creative industries.
Yeah.
Over a lot of places are thinking, people just want exposure, so they'll do it for free anyway.
I mean, it's not like I don't need exposure, because I'm still a pretty small musician, but like I can do that kind of thing myself.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to, and if I wanted to push myself, then I would.
Yeah.
Because I know how. I don't need someone to do it for me.
Yeah.
I have contacts in advertising, for example, and I have a really wide social network myself, because I've lived many places, and I've been many places, and I've met loads of different people, and friends will always help each other out. Especially musicians, actually.
Yeah.
We're all in it together, so I don't need someone to tell me that I need their help if I play a gig for them, wear myself out for something. It's not worthwhile.
No.
I don't want to be used like that. That's a massive tangent. But no,
that's good.
But yeah, no,
because it raises the point.
That is a massive tangent. But so the argument was when it comes to venues themselves, you've either got that. You can either do people favours, and you can do small gigs in pubs. You can do paid, it's proper sets in pubs, and cafes and various places. And there are people looking for live music there. Or if there aren't, then you do have to take some initiative.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to Cafe Shanty, literally last week actually, and when they were up the hill, they used to do gigs. They don't anymore. And I was like, hey, so I work with women in the arts. We'd love to use your space potentially, because you've got such a great atmosphere in here.
Yeah.
It's small, it would be low key, you wouldn't need any equipment at all for spoken word or music, acoustic. It's not really a metal kind of cafe somehow, I think.
I think taking something.
Yeah.
Death. Yeah.
No, I don't think that would.
I don't think they'd appreciate it.
No. Or the next step up for me is the platform, and it is very expensive to hire. But then again, their facilities are great, and their price is justifiable. But if you're a small band or a single musician on their own like me, that's just that's a no go.
Yeah, that's too much.
Unless you are supporting someone who can afford it.
Yeah.
I supported Lauren Rycroft there. She put on a gig,
okay.
And it was a really good gig.
Yeah.
Actually, and then next step up from that is obviously the engine shed.
Yeah.
But there are venues around. They're versatile venues. They're not necessarily music ones. Like, you know, Women in the Arts thing was held at the Blue Rooms in the Lawns, and that was really lovely. It's mostly like it's more of a theatrical stage. But...
Yeah, I think the weird thing about Lincoln has always been it's hugely location based in Lincoln, because though it's a tiny city, really, getting from one side of Lincoln High Street to the other side of Lincoln High Street can be a huge challenge.
Yeah, like I mean, I live the opposite end of Lincoln to you, and I walked here in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe half an hour.
And it's one. I mean, like the Blue Room, if it was on the High Street, wouldn't necessarily just be a theatrical venue. It could quite easily be a music venue.
Yeah.
But because it's uphill, it has that added gravitas of this is a proper art venue and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think that there should be another venue.
No.
I think it's a case of taking what we've got and exploring different options.
Okay.
And making places more versatile. I mean, there's the Rogue Saint.
Yeah.
But,
they've started doing live music.
They have, and I think that's a really nice middle ground, and I think they're doing things right there.
I mean, I've seen people perform at Straight and Narrow as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I think I've been in Straight and Narrow once.
I've never seen a band at Straight and Narrow. I've seen 2 rappers at Straight and Narrow, because there's Professor Elemental and Mr. B, who gentleman rappers and steampunk rappers, and they were really interesting because it was kind of they have the mini cordoned off section, and they were on there with the PA and all that kind of stuff, and that was really good. But it's a really weirdly shaped venue.
Yeah, it's a bit of a maze
because your front stage is only like here to here, like so you can't get too many in, and everyone's around the ends.
Yeah. So
it's a bit of a weird one, but Rogue Saint's got that added.
It's nice in there.
Yeah.
I enjoy it there a little bit too much.
You should go on Sundays. It's half price cocktails.
I am a tiny human being. Me and cocktails, we don't get on.
No.
No.
Or would you like to get on, but you fall out each time?
Oh well, it's more of a case of half price cocktails means it means you can buy one for half price. See, in my head, it means 2 for 1.
Essentially, it does.
Yeah. And it doesn't take a lot of alcohol for me to get drunk, and I don't like being drunk in public because I like to be very in control of myself, despite being a very I can't think of the word.
Relaxed, open.
Yeah, relaxed. I'm a relaxed and open person, but then.
But
drinking happens, and I just not a mess. I'm just out of character.
That's a good
Yes.
I'm out of character when I'm drunk. That's.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a great defense for anything you've ever done. It's like, you were really drunk. No, I was out of character.
I was just a bit out of character. I was a little bit merry.
Yeah.
A little bit too merry.
Getting a little bit merry.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's future music wise? Like, what are you working on anything?
Well,
are you gearing up for EPs and albums?
At the moment, I am not doing a lot. I mean, I was recording an EP way back.
Okay.
Nothing really came of it because university life took over.
As it does.
As it does, unfortunately. I'm kidding.
I think it's meant
to. I love uni, but don't kick me off my course, please. What I'm doing now is I am focusing on my education. I've got 2 months left. I finish.
Are you in your final year?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm in my final year of my undergraduate.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taken me a little bit longer, so I'll be finishing that in June. I'm going back to Norfolk to live with my parents for a little while, because I've got my bedroom there, which is set up like an art studio.
Nice. An
art studio with a bed in the corner. It's more like a nest, to be honest.
I think the best art studios include a bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Paint, fall into bed, paint.
Yeah, that's pretty much
back
right.
and forth. That's yeah.
I'm going to save up a little bit of money, and then I think I would like to get more into painting at the moment. But for me now, I've done so much solo work. I would love to collaborate with other musicians.
Yeah.
So there is a band I've recently been introduced to called Flint Moore. They're from Kings Lynn / Downham Market.
Okay.
Or at least their drummer is. And I've been listening to their music a lot, and I find myself harmonising with their songs a lot. I absolutely love harmonising vocally.
Yeah.
I used to be part of a gospel choir. So, it's just instinct for me.
You just keep throwing in things you've done. You seem to have done so much.
I've done many things. Like I said, can't
stop. You're compulsively creative.
Yes, exactly. I was an alto, and so I will figure out the harmonies for that, and I'll just sing, and it's great, and I would really love to work with them.
Yeah.
They followed me on Instagram now, so
we'll just tag them in this. We'll just tag them in this.
So hi guys.
Watch the last 20 minutes of this podcast and get Lauren. Yeah.
Subtle, love it.
Social media in the description.
But yeah, I also do some work with my best friend Alex. Alex Erdley Scott. He's the guy that was in the AC/DC tribute band. He's recently just he's taken some time out for himself now. And we jam together, and I just like having a laugh, really. And then if something awesomely creative and beautiful sounding comes out of it, then
all the better.
All the better.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, like, not working with other people it's just been because of time. It's a lot. I mean, I can rock up at a gig and set up in about 0.2 seconds, and it's cheaper as well for me to do that. And I've been busy, and I don't necessarily have the time for rehearsals and things.
Yeah.
But once I've got my degree under my belt, then I don't have to worry about that anymore. That doesn't take take up all of my time, and I can be creative, like even more so for a little while until getting a proper job. Maybe.
That's a mistake. Never get a proper job. To trap people fall into.
I've been in retail on and off for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it. It'll do.
It'll do.
It's
it
nice.
pays the bills.
It does.
That's as much as it needs to do.
It's nice. But yeah, I think if I can make money doing what I actually like doing, then it's great. I mean, I don't want to live in a mansion. I don't want a nice car. I just want to have fun.
You're saying you wouldn't live in like a ukulele-shaped mansion?
A ukulele-shaped mansion would be terrible. Like,
I mean, you're studying architecture. You could design a ukulele.
I could also.
Would it be flat though, and then round, or would it be on end?
If it was on end, there'd be a lot of stairs, and I'm not fond of stairs.
Just have a lift.
I'm not fond of lifts either. I got trapped in one time. It was awful. Put me off.
Claustrophobic. So,
Yeah.
Just throwing that idea around.
No, my ideal house would be literally like wattle and daub, timber frame, an A-frame house actually.
Yeah.
You just have the downstairs bit and then like a shelf for an upstairs with a little mezzanine. You can look down, and just something simple and rustic. And if I could make it with my two hands, then that'd be great.
That'd be great. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So future-wise, you just creating and then...
I'm just going to be in this whirlwind of paint and music for a little while until something comes out of it.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad whirlwind to be in. I think more people should be in.
There's definitely worse whirlwinds.
Their own whirlwinds of whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see what happens. I mean, a lot of the time people, there's that classic question of, what do you want to do after your degree? I have no idea, but I cannot wait to find out.
Yeah.
I really can't wait.
I think a lot of people do panic about what to do after the degree. And then when they don't have anything, they start to put themselves down even more. And it's like...
I believe in myself enough to know that I'm going to be okay. Yeah. I've got a good skill set under my belt. I can talk to people, which is good. So, retail is sorted. I've been a barmaid and I know how to make coffee. So, it's like the part-time golden trio. Yeah. Retail, barmaid, barista. I can do them. So I'll be able to get a job anywhere and just in my downtime do the other stuff.
It's like a weird goodbye podcast.
Goodbye podcast?
Yeah.
We're
describing you leaving Linking and...
Oh, well, I am leaving, but I'll still be lingering like a bad smell. No, I'll be back to visit all the time. I've got too many friends here now. Yeah. For me going back to Norfolk is basically it's a self-care move. I just want to catch my breath after 4 years of just manic education, and I never took a gap year. Yeah. So I've been in the education system for 17 years, and so I just want to go and just
drop it.
Do.
Yeah.
I just want to go and do literally anything else.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun.
Well, I think that's a good point to end on.
Yeah.
The future.
Thank you for having me, anyway.
That's fine. Thank you for coming.
No worries.
And discussing the world of music.
The world of music and many other philosophical
other little bit of things. Yeah. And we shall talk to you guys later.
Okay.
You guys should check out Lauren. Social stuffs.
Oh.
And that band should collaborate.
Flintmore.
Yes.
Please.
Please.
Please.